Welcome to Nissan's latest two-row SUV, the 2025 Nissan Murano. My name is Jimmy and I want to start by telling you a little bit of history. Back in 2003, the Murano was an absolute icon for the brand. Following the success of the Z, it was a very unique SUV that was available in that copper color with that matching copper interior. Under the hood of that was the VQ 3.5-liter V6 and a CVT. Over the years, we found that the CVT has been less than reliable, but that VQ powertrain was punchy. I mean, Nissan has made great engines in the past. The SR20, the monstrous RB, the trumpeting VQ, and of course, the Godzilla motor VR38. But underneath the hood of this, well, this is a little bit different, because this is a KR20 DDET, which means it's a KR engine family, a 2-liter. The first D is a dual overhead cam. The second D is for direct injection. The E is for multi-port fuel injection. And the T, well, that's for the turbo. But what does that all mean? Well, with port injection and direct injection, it is a good thing because it keeps the valves nice and clean. But because it's a KR series, it's a VC turbo, variable compression. What that means is instead of a normal connecting rod, it has an actuator that changes the compression ratio from 8:1 to 14:1 depending on what's needed. In the Murano, it makes 241 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, while getting 23 miles per gallon combined, or 9.7 liters for 100 kilometers. But here's the thing, that's no more power or efficiency than that of, well, a standard 2-liter turbo, like that of the RDX. So this, well, it's just unnecessarily complex for really no reason. So why did they do that? I honestly couldn't tell you. But what I can say is, well, they got rid of the CVT. Now you get a 9-speed automatic. So they took away that problem and gave you potentially a new one. But what's nice is, I mean, looking at the Murano anyways, it is actually a very smart looking vehicle. I do like this dual tier headlamp that they have here. The LEDs that's on the bottom, they integrate very nicely. You got the updated Nissan logo in white, and it says Murano just beside the front headlamp. On the side, 21-inch wheels, which are absolutely massive. This little effect above it just to make it look like it has some sort of fender flares. Blacked out mirror caps, blacked out roof. Proximity door locks on the front door, but not the rear. But it does have walk up to unlock and walk away to lock feature, so that's not that big of a deal. Moving to the back, I love these tail lamps. They're absolutely beautiful. It stretches the entire way on the back here. Murano's written right across the rear end, platinum on the bottom right. It doesn't have fake exhaust or anything like that to add that sporty flair that some other manufacturers tend to do. It's a good looking vehicle, to be honest. From front all the way to the back, it just looks like maybe just a different variation of the Aria, and this very nicely integrates with the Nissan brand. If we open up the trunk with this little button right here, we actually get a decent amount of space here. 33 cubic feet of space, which is absolutely plenty. You can, of course, fold down the rear seats 60/40. There are handles right here, allowing you easy access to do so. Under the floor, you get that optional spare tire. If not, you just get a little bit of foam, fix the flat, and the Bose subwoofer in the center. As for the back seats, headroom, legroom isn't a problem. There's plenty of space in here. The rear seats don't slide or tilt like some other manufacturers, but you do get air vents in the center, USB-C charge points, and of course, the rear seats are heated. Something to note, the headrests are now fixed, so depending on child seats, that may become an issue. So if you're thinking of the Murano as your next family hauler, do double check that. But in terms of overall space, you should have no problems getting a rear-facing seat, an infant carrier, or a forward-facing seat like I have here on the passenger side. But let's move up front. These front seats, they're very, very supportive, very, very comfortable. They're also heated, they're cooled, and they're massaging. So if we're checking things off a list, this has all the options. But then you dive into it, the thigh support isn't the greatest. And the massaging really is just the lumbar control moving up and down. It's not like a full-on massaging seats like some other brands have. This Well, this is good for longer trips just to reduce the fatigue within your back, but it's not really a massaging seat. In front of me, this dual spoke steering wheel looks a little bit weird, but it's actually really comfortable. You got all the space on the bottom to rest your hand while you're driving. You have all the controls on the right that you really need. Volume is right there. Like, it actually just works really, really well. Behind that, you have your digital cluster, which is pretty traditional Nissan stuff here. You got your different views. You got all the data points in the center, so you can easily scroll through that with this little jog dial on the steering wheel. You have a heads-up display, of course. As for your main infotainment system that runs off Google Automotive, it's been responsive. It's been great. I have my wireless CarPlay connected. No real issues there. This jog dial that's on the steering wheel, I absolutely love. It just makes controlling that screen super easy, although sometimes it doesn't do exactly what you want. So it's a little weird, but you kind of get there. Over time, you get used to it, and it's actually a really good system. What you have to know is it's not able to do everything. Like the climate control, yes, you can dive into that menu, but the jog dial does nothing within that menu itself. So you still have to utilize the screen. Not everything can be controlled here. And on the topic of climate control, you do get some physical buttons on the bottom, but they're just behind this digital panel. And it's kind of like the Aria. It looks great, but it is a little bit hard to use. And especially if you're wanting to press something, well, in consecutive, it just doesn't do that all that well. But the rest of the cabin, you know what? It's really nice. The stitching, the leather, this is definitely an upmarket interior. If it didn't have a big Nissan logo in front of me, you can actually kind of say that this is an Infiniti interior. It's that good. I also really like this volume knob. It's terrific. The placement of it is exactly where you want it. But the track forward and back button that's off to the side, that's a little bit awkward to use. And just as awkward is this shifter. No rotary shifter, no physical shifter. You get push buttons here. The reverse has a little bit of a ledge, whereas drive has a little bit of this dimple on it. So you can shift just by feeling where those buttons are, but chances are you're going to look down exactly where those buttons are before you actually start driving, because they're a little bit more complicated than it should be. But let's head out on the road and see how the new Murano drives. If you're looking for something that's fun, exciting, well, this is not it. The Murano is, well, it's a fine vehicle, but it's not a fun vehicle to drive. It doesn't excite you. Even if you flick this little D mode to sport, put your foot down, doesn't really give you much. Steering, yeah, maybe it's a little heavier, but it's not like aching for corners. I'm not begging to go faster. This is just fine. Put it back in standard or eco and everything kind of dulls down, and that's also fine. What you have to know is, for most people that's going to be buying a vehicle like this isn't a problem. What may become a problem is when you're getting on the highway and you see a big truck there and you want to accelerate. You just have to think ahead a little bit, because when you put that foot down, it does take a second. And it's not like, oh, put it in sport mode, it'll be better. No one's driving day to day in sport mode. You're in normal, you're driving up, you have to overtake someone. That delay is a little longer than I like. Most of the time, this 9-speed works well. Like, driving normally, it's so smooth. You won't complain about it. It's better than a CVT because you feel those shifts, and let's be honest, it's probably going to be more reliable. But just the algorithm of those downshifts, it really lets down the vehicle. That's my problem with it. And maybe another thing is the safety suite. Nissan, unfortunately, they didn't put Pro Pilot 2.1 on this. it just has 1.1. And with that, you don't get, well, the excellent highway kind of self-driving that it has. Because on the Armada, as well as the Rogue, which has the ProPilot 2.1, you set it and you can just let it do its thing on the highway. Minimal driving effort needed. And for Murano, I feel like that's exactly what it's needed. For long distance driving, you want to be comfortable. ProPilot 2.1 can get you there. 1.1, it can't. Why not? Why not give me the latest tech? It's kind of weird. I mean, the whole vehicle, let's be honest, is a little bit odd. It has a weird engine and it's in a weird market. No one really makes two-row mid-size SUVs anymore because it's just not something that people want. People want that extra third row, and most manufacturers are going that way. The Santa Fe has 3 rows. The Sorento has 3 rows. The Passport, I mean, they just cut down a Pilot for that, but the 3-row SUV is what's going to excel, and I'm sure the Pathfinder, it's going to outsell the Murano by a lot. This is just to really give you another option, and at 58,000 Canadian dollars, it's a pricey option as well. It's not as, well, affordable as some others, but at 58, as spec'd here, of course, on the utmost platinum trim, with this like really nice interior, I get it. It's kind of Infiniti-like. And for 58,000, you're not going to get an Infiniti that's comparable. I mean, they killed off the QX50 and 55. They're going to probably have the QX56, maybe? That base after this? Maybe? I mean, it makes sense. They already have a QX60 that's bigger. And this is bigger than the QX50. So, QX56, 57, 58, I don't know. Somewhere within the lines of that. This will make a decent Infiniti product. However, with that engine, it's just a big unknown. In any case, let me know in the comments what you think about the Murano. Is it all you want it to be? Do you think that this should be an Infiniti product? Do you not care about the reliability of that engine because the warranty is good enough and you'll probably sell it before that warranty is over anyways? Let me know in the comment section down below. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. Take care.